hitting the tree again.
He's
Peter!
trimming the tree. He's trimming the tree.
God damn it! I'm gonna have to. You know,
I had to get these imported.
Okay.
These are Mongolian fresh breed palms.
Oh.
He just trimmed it. He just trimmed them. What do you mean?
Okay, so anyway, I approached Dark. I approached Dark over this whole situation. I've got 2 officers working on it. And I'm like, look, you know, we need to go through the FOIAs. We need to find out exactly where that's coming from. And I need you guys to work with the marshals. And they specifically requested that they only work with Dark because they don't trust anyone else. So I called Dark and I made him
requested that. Wait, who requested that?
to only work with Dark?
Yeah.
Maxwell and Masters.
Okay.
So I called Dark and I said, look, you know, I've already talked to a few marshals, but out of respect for my officers, they only want to work with you because they think that there is bias coming from the marshals and they think you're able to have an objective approach to everything that's going on. And Dark was like, well, what bias are you talking about? And I don't know how Dark is so oblivious to everything. And I tried to explain it, and he's like, well, is that bias? I mean, I brought up the situation where marshals came down and only yelled at and threatened to fire LSPD officers for the Sky Faye thing. Coming down in the times and fines issue, when we were knocking times and fines off before the Den Act was implemented, where Angel threatened to impeach me if I was adjusting people's times. There was a ton of stuff. I mean, even like the Helen the Felon stuff I brought up, I said, you know, somebody openly violated someone's rights. And I was like, you guys, somebody openly violated someone's rights, and the only thing that was done was a slap on the wrist from the BCSO. It's like you take the other side of things and you have people who are investigating me, trying to get me removed. You had the situation where you guys went balls to the wall on Den for mishandling of evidence, which you were going to take him to court for. It was like there's bias, and for whatever reason, I don't know how Dark doesn't see it. But yeah, it's like I don't think
it's not that whether or not he sees it is it's his job does not allow him to see anything otherwise, because if that picture is shattered, everything crumbles. You know what I mean? How are you gonna go against your boss and all the people she's put in place?
Yeah, that's gonna be an issue for anybody. Because as much as Dark likes to fight and say he's about justice, there's just certain things that he won't do. Now, he's always been like that. I've known him a long time. You know, he'll be quick to point the finger at anybody else. When it comes to pointing the finger at himself and the people he works with, he's kind of obtuse.
The problem is they shouldn't be our boss. Our bosses should be the 2 people in front of us.
That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because you guys carry the ideals of the city, so we should work on operating on those ideals. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, the boss should just be the chief and the ass chief and the sheriff and the under sheriff, and then that's it.
Yep.
And everything else gets handled by a court of law.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what this whole thing. I mean, whatever. It's unfortunate.
When is the court case?
Oh yeah, what's up with that court case, Brett? I didn't even know. They never tagged me in it.
So deposition, the pre-trial ain't been set. This shit's gonna take a fucking while. It is gonna take a while. They're gonna drag this shit the fuck out forever.
Let me pull it up. Yeah, so I had I had no idea that I was even, they said waiting for Peter's response, and it was like I was never tagged in any of it, by the way. Somebody had to tell me.
Oh, they didn't tag you? It's like their job. That's pretty much their fucking
Still
job.
waiting for availability from Ask Chief Peters before I schedule a deposition hearing, and I was never tagged. So I mean, it was posted on Wednesday, and then somebody told me like, hey, they're waiting for your response. They said nobody ever tagged me.
Peters, do you know everything that why you're in there and all that? Like you
Oh,
understand all
no,
that,
no,
right?
no. I don't know. You just said wait for Pred. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. Peters doesn't know yet why he's being called up.
Yeah, Tony will handle it. I'm trying not to. I want to give Tony free reign.
Should
I don't want to be.
Should he speak with Tony or just wait till the trial?
I mean, he should speak with Tony, but then also he doesn't have to speak with Tony. It's really up to how Tony wants to do it. I mean, Tony's just going to ask him some general questions, understanding over the whole thing, point out some key facts. You know, as far as I know, we're still waiting for some shit that we ain't got. But yeah, I can't wait to go to the pre-trial and tear this goddamn search warrant up. Tony and Ajax have a field day with that shit.
Why were the marshals arguing with the judges in there as well? I haven't read any of. I still haven't read any of this. I think Nino, didn't you tell me to wait for Pred on this whole thing?
Yeah, and we just concluded that Pred wants you to talk to Tony.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's some things I can tell him about, like how, you know, so if I tell you this, it has to stay between us. You can't talk about it to anybody.
Yeah.
Because it's important. Apparently what happened was the warrant was initially declined, right? So then all the judges got dragged out into the woods, apparently, and Angel basically screamed at them in submission in order to get the raid warrant signed.
What?
Yeah.
It gets worse by the minute.
Yeah, it does.
Wait, you didn't even mention who.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's essentially, you know, that is coming from a very reliable source. And, yeah. So the whole thing's just kind of fucked up. And, you know, it's going to take forever to fucking get all these charges dropped because I can beat every single one of these charges. I have a defense for every single fucking charge. I'm completely innocent. And unfortunately, I have no access to my bank account. I have no access to the county bank account to make withdrawals or transfers. And on top of that, I lose my weapons license and my right to human dignity to defend myself over nothing. You know, over something, you guys have seen the reports. Those guns are documented from, like, April. All right, that was my first weapons license. And who's to say that I didn't report those guns stolen? I just didn't report the other ones that they didn't charge me with. And then there's a whole statute. Are you guys familiar with the statute of limitations bullshit legislation?
No. When was it? Was it recently changed?
So, no, it was changed about 3 months ago. But essentially, what it says is that if there's exception, so basically Section 3 exceptions to evidence collection time frame, which is ridiculous, right? They're trying to use a bunch of weapons that came up with my identifier, all right? And what they're excluding to let the judges know, or whoever's supposed to know, is that these were uninvestigated and uncharged crimes. How can they be allowed into the scope? So they had their opportunity to fucking get me, all right? They could have gotten me, but instead they refused to do any investigation. They refused to pen any charges against myself, all right? Therefore, how can this information be used against me in the court of law? If they didn't do their due diligence, then why should it even be allowed?
Agreed. Let's call it spade a spade. That fucking line in the legislation is great for, like, long-term murder investigations,
exactly,
like serial killers, and they decided to use this. If these motherfuckers want to come in and talk about abuses for 4 years, what the fuck is this? It's so bad faith, it makes you not trust the entire system.
Yeah, the whole thing just reeks of bad faith, and, you know, unfortunately, we're going to have to do the fucking, you know, the whole song and dance about everything.
Yeah. Oh my God. Here's a little thing. Appa, you should take a look at that raid warrant and tell me that's a decent warrant.
Which one? I don't think I have access to it.
You do. It's on the docket. It's honestly one of the most incoherent.
Wait, which one, Fred's?
Yeah, the raid warrant. And then
Yeah,
you'll
I can
notice
give you the
that
report number.
they altered it when getting his bank and phone records, which, mind you, that should have been the first thing that they did to begin with in order to articulate when the purchase was made, which they would have known
They never
about.
even raided my apartment. They raided my vehicles and the thing I bought like 12 hours after I fucking bought it. I literally bought that thing, went to sleep. All right? That's what happened. That was supposed to be a fucking community center for the county.
Wait, so didn't you technically lose your weapons license and got rescinded because an expungement happened?
Yeah.
Isn't that
And I got
technically double jeopardy if you get charged with weapons from the previous instance of a gun license?
I mean, who knows?
I don't think it's even that deep. Like whether it's double jeopardy, it's that this is an abuse of the legislation, which it doesn't even fit it because it's about evidence that was not able to be discoverable becoming discoverable. That's fucking brain dead. It was discoverable. It's just that the police department didn't happen to discover. That line to me reads, on the 31st day, like someone writes in a notebook, I murdered somebody, right? Can you now use that? The guns were in someone's possession. They were discoverable. There's also enough to suggest that the marshals were aware that this was a weed op. You know about that, right, Pred?
They knew?
Wait, have you... Come over here real quick.
That's crazy.
Have you spoken to Sonya?
Yeah, of course I knew it was a weed op. I just don't want them to know that.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I knew that. Hey, that was one of the perks for buying it. I had fucking a full weed operation and a fucking stash place.
Okay, that's not what I said though. Do you know that that there's a really good probability that the marshals knew that it was a weed op to begin with?
I mean, is there a good probability, or did they actually know? Like, did they actually know?
You need to talk to Sonya.
I'll talk to Sonya.